Hey everyone, so it's Two Chicks on LinkedIn again. I hope you're looking forward to this broadcast. This is our second broadcast together. And just in case you haven't seen this before, my name is Chantal Buerta. I'm a recruitment strategist and coach. And this is Stephanie Wiem, and she is a social media designer. Tell us a bit about you, Steph.
It's social media design. What else do you want me to say? I literally just designed images, designs for your social media channel, whatever it is that you need, be it an advertisement or a funny or a call to action or a direction or branded. Everything is about getting your brand out there.
There you go.
And it's the same with your LinkedIn profile, because your LinkedIn profile is your personal brand, and that's what we do. We're telling you how to brand yourself.
There you go. And that's how Two Chicks were born. So we met on LinkedIn. Stephanie does all of my branding and all of my social media images. So if you like them, do go and have a chat with her. But without further ado, what we are chatting about today is we told you we're going to go through the elements of LinkedIn, and we're going to give you our opinion of what works and what doesn't work and how to optimize your LinkedIn profile from a business and from a job search perspective. So today I'm going to share my screen with you, and we are looking at the About section on your LinkedIn profile. So there you can see Stephanie's profile, you can see her headline, which we discussed last week, and here is her About section. And if you flick over to my profile, there's my About section. Now, very similar to, and I'm going to stop sharing just so we can chat for a little while, very similar to what we discussed last week, you've got to use your LinkedIn as a tool to attract clients or potential hiring managers to your profile. So let's look at the importance behind the About section. Steph, tell us why the About section is so important, perhaps from a business perspective.
The About section, and from a why perspective, is actually why do you as a business person want to tell people about what it is that you do, so that you can educate them? Because at the end of the day, without educating, they're not going to know anything about you. So it's about you. It's about educating them and getting them to understand how you can add value. Okay, I know we'll get to the how a little bit later, but it's all about, why am I on LinkedIn? I'm on LinkedIn to educate and to attract.
Absolutely.
And that's my why.
Absolutely. I love it. And you know, from a job seeking perspective, I always teach my people to look at your why before you get into the job market. And I'm going to bring that in here. Think about your why and your purpose behind being in the job market, and again, the value you can offer. So that's why it's so important. You condense all of that information into a succinct About section, and it just gives such a boost to your profile. So let's talk about what you put into your About section, because I know everyone's interpretation of the what section is very different, you know, or what you actually put in there. So Steph, from a business perspective, what would you advocate that a business person puts into their About section?
It's not about me. Yes, it is about me, but it's not about me. From a business perspective, it's what do you, as my client, want to know about me, and what is your pain point, and am I talking about your pain points? Because if I'm talking about your pain points, there's a synergy between your pain points and what I can do, and it's almost like a zipper effect that, you know, when you zip up, it comes together. And that is the About section, because it's about me as a person and you as a client, and how we can actually just come together.
Absolutely. And you know what, from a job seeking perspective, many of my clients have heard me talk about the WIFM principle. What's in it for me? And that's effectively what WIFM stands for. So that's what I advocate you put into your About section. You don't tell them how cool it would be for you to work 1 kilometer from home. You tell them how cool it would be for them to hire you and the value you bring to the table. So it's all about those differentiators again, and that's really where it starts. So another interesting question, you know, just before we did this video, we were discussing where. you know, where can you use this about section? Once you've written a beautiful about section, Steph, from a business perspective, where else could you apply the same reasoning or methodology?
You know, the way when we are putting ourselves on social media, every social media platform has a different way of for you to voice who you are and how you add value. Facebook is very much hidden. You have to really dig if you want to know a little bit more about the person, because I think it's a little section like this and you have to dig for it. Whereas on a LinkedIn profile, it's there. So even if you're on any of the other social media platforms, and you can guide your people to LinkedIn, because LinkedIn gives you your banner, which we discussed last week, your photo, your headline, which we discussed last week. And it tells you with a little, you'll share your screen with us, Chantal, about the see more section. And that gives you, I think, 2,000 characters, if memory serves me correct. I'm not 100% sure, so don't quote me on that. So you see that see more over there on Chantal's. It says about, are you in the job market, etc., where her mouse is, see more. And when you click on that, it opens up all of that information that you, from all of your other platforms, can direct them to this bit over here. So this is your bit where you tell them about you. Once again, we go back to where and about.
Absolutely, I love it. And you know, from a job search perspective, from a business perspective, we want to get our about me message out there. But from a job search perspective, there are so many more applications to a well-written about section. Think about your elevator pitch. Think about what I've just spoken to you about, your Whitlam principle. Think about where you add value to your next employer. So if you've constructed a really great about section, you can use this in the tell me about yourself question in an interview scenario even. So there is so much value to really just getting to grips with it and writing a good about section. You know, don't ever underestimate it. Don't skip this step, in other words.
And it's not just, and Chantal and I were actually discussing this before we hit record. So you don't hear all the waffle that we do before we start talking to you. Chantal wrote a beautiful post the other day as well. Chantal, just tell us a little bit about that post that you wrote with that financial guy in the mining industry, if you wouldn't mind.
Absolutely. So I see people on LinkedIn all day going, I'm a financial manager. I've got 15 years experience in automotive and mining, and I know SAP. I'm looking for an opportunity. So I asked people, would you share this post? As opposed to, would you share the one that gives the value? And the one that gives the value is the one that says, I recently uncovered a 15 million Rand cost saving due to inadequate controls being handled on site. Due to my extensive experience with SAP, I managed to rectify this, and this makes me a great candidate for mining, automotive, manufacturing. So that is how you talk about your value.
And it's exactly the same from a business perspective as well, because my ideal client is a mindset coach. Are you a mindset coach? Do you feel overwhelmed? Does the thought of creating your own thing, and I'm talking about their pain points, and then it's about adding value to them. And that is so important about the about section.
Absolutely. I absolutely love it. Value, 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 guys. Never, ever, ever forget value. So lastly, how do we incorporate all these elements? How do we bring it all together to create this dynamic post? And before I'm going to hand over to Steph, I just want to share with the screen with you again. Stephanie mentioned this see more button. And to me, this again, I spoke about your banner being prime real estate last week, and there's your banner up there. So these first 3 lines in your about section are prime real estate. So my advice in terms of how to write your about section, make sure that you're giving value in the first 3 lines before they click the see more, because they're not going to click the see more unless they see value in those first 3 lines. And again, you can see Stephanie is addressing her audience and I'll let her tell you about her business side of things there.
So how does it fit together? How do you edit it? How do you present it? When you change direction, say for argument's sake, so I no longer offer design service. If I, for whatever reason, heaven forbid, no longer offer a design service, this is where I'm going to be putting how I'm changing, how I'm evolving, how I'm going to be doing stuff different for you, who is my audience. So, and how you do it, you simply click on the little pen button at the top over there and you change it. And get someone else that is going to be your ideal client or a prospective recruiter or whatever. Let them read. There's that pen section. Thank you, Chantal. Let them read through it and have them tell you how to make the changes that's going to get you from this channel into this channel completely.
Absolutely. And you know, that brings me to my next point that just kind of triggered a thought. You know, so many businesses have been pivoting through COVID and all the rest of it. And this is how you can start showing how you've pivoted. You know, you can talk about the business that you were in pre-COVID and the necessity to change and adapt to the current COVID climate. And that's how you can start almost showing your journey and your commitment to your customers. And
yes.
It's the same thing from a job search perspective. You know, I have so many people who come to me and say, I want to change careers. I'm having a midlife crisis or whatever it is. I want to change careers, and how do I do it? And I know because I've been there, done that, had a midlife crisis myself.
Not even there yet, Chantal, really?
It feels like I've had the quarter life, the midlife, but anyway, I digress. So how you do that is you would showcase your skills and your differentiators from your foundational career, and you would use that to transfer your skills across to the new career, because those skills are never lost. So again, never underestimate the power of advice and the power of the collective. Get as much advice and input as you possibly can, but remember that with-them principle. For me, that's key. What's in it for them? Think of your readers when you're writing about me. Stephanie, any closing remarks from you?
Just a reminder that we will be back next week. And next week, we're going to cover the featured section, which is great from a visual content perspective, but also very important from a copy content perspective. So tune in next week. Awesome. And awesome. From me, toodaloo.
And on that note, the featured section is the most underutilized tool in the job seeker's arsenal. So I've got some very fancy ideas for you for next week. So thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next week.
Take care. Bye now.